Ramadan is here. And if you're watching this right now, chances are you started this month with a list, goals, plans, a version of yourself you wanted to show up as. Maybe you wrote it down. Maybe you just held it in your heart and whispered, "This year will be different." And then life happened. The kids needed something. The kitchen called your name. Sleep became a negotiation. And somewhere between the suhoor and the iftar, the days started slipping. Quietly, quickly, like sand through your fingers. And now you're here, watching this. Maybe feeling a little behind. Maybe carrying a quiet guilt you can't quite shake. I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share isn't a lecture. It's not a list of things you failed at. It's a conversation between a sister who understands your reality and a heart that still has time to change. Because here's the truth that nobody says out loud enough. Ramadan isn't lost because you were busy. It's only lost when you stop turning back. Let's start here, with the waiting. So many of us enter Ramadan and immediately begin preparing to begin. We tell ourselves, once the house is clean, once the kids are settled, once the routine feels natural, then I'll focus on Quran, then I'll pray with real presence, then I'll feel like Ramadan actually started for me. But here's what I need you to understand. That calm morning you're waiting for, it's not coming. Not because your life is broken, but because your life is alive. Children don't pause because it's Ramadan. Responsibilities don't take a month off. The house will always have dishes in the sink. And Shaitan, he doesn't stop you by making you refuse worship. He stops you by making you postpone it. He is patient. He knows that "I'll start tomorrow" is often the most dangerous sentence a believer can say. Islam never asked you to become free from life before you worship Allah. Allah wants you to remember Him within your life, in the noise, in the chaos, in the middle of everything. So what does that look like practically? It looks like 2 pages of Quran while your child plays beside you. It looks like a whispered dua while the food is on the stove. It looks like a short prayer, not the perfect prayer, but a prayer. Today, now, in the middle of the mess. Because here is the secret that changes everything. Feelings follow actions, not the other way around. You're waiting to feel spiritual before you act, but the spirituality comes through the action. When you open the Quran, even tired, even distracted, something in the heart begins to shift. The calmness you're chasing, it lives on the other side of that first step. Stop waiting for readiness. Readiness comes after you begin. And please, let go of the idea that small acts don't count. 2 pages every day are more powerful than an entire juz you never actually read. A short, sincere dua whispered over the sink may carry more weight than a long dua saved for a moment that never arrives. You are not building a performance for Ramadan. You are building a relationship with your Lord. And relationships don't need perfect conditions. They just need consistency. Now I want to talk about something that almost nobody talks about openly, but every woman feels: the kitchen. From early afternoon, your entire world narrows to recipes and prep and stirring and timing. You become a machine of service. And by the time Maghrib arrives, you're physically exhausted, emotionally drained, and spiritually empty. And then you sit at the iftar table. Everyone eats, and you wonder, did I even fast today? Or did I just cook? Sister, I say this with so much love. Ramadan did not come so you could present a beautiful table. It came so your heart could return to Allah. Feeding your family is rewarded. That intention is real. But when cooking consumes your entire day, when it leaves you too tired to pray, too scattered to make dua, then the means has swallowed the purpose. Think about this. The hours just before Maghrib are among the most accepted times for dua in the entire year. The fasting person's supplication right before breaking the fast, it goes straight up. That is a window of divine openness that comes once a day for 30 days, and many of us spend it rushing between the stove and the sink. I'm not asking you to stop feeding your family. I'm asking you to simplify. Choose a few easy meals and repeat them. There is no Islamic obligation in variety. There is no reward attached to having 10 dishes on the table. The Prophet broke his fast with dates and water, the simplest of things, and those moments were among the most blessed of his life. The barakah of Ramadan is in remembrance, not presentation. So protect the time before iftar, even 10 minutes. Sit down, hold a date in your hand, raise your palms, make dua. Let the tears come if they want to come. That moment, quiet, simple, sincere, is worth more than any dish you could have prepared in its place. And involve your family. You are not the sole servant of this household during Ramadan. Let others help. Teach your children to set the table. Ask your husband to clean up after iftar. When the load is shared, you get to show up for Ramadan as a worshipper, not just a cook. Your family needs your presence, your peace, your spiritual calm. They will remember a mother who prayed with focus far longer than they'll remember any meal you made. This one is quiet, but it's doing a lot of damage. You hear that someone finished 5 juz of Quran. Someone else is waking up every night for tahajjud. Someone's Instagram Ramadan looks like a perfectly filtered spiritual retreat. Warm lamplight, open Quran, a cup of tea, pure serenity. And you look at your life, the sleepless nights, the crying kids, the missed prayers, the half-finished intentions, and something inside you says, I'm already behind. What's the point? Can I tell you something? That thought is not from your conscience. That thought is from Shaitan, because Allah never asked you to observe other people's worship. He asked you to observe your own heart. Every woman in this ummah is carrying a different weight. The mother of a newborn and the mother of teenagers are not the same. The woman working outside the home and the woman recovering from illness are not the same. Your health, your circumstances, your capacity, these are known to Allah alone, and He does not compare you to anyone else. He looks at sincerity, He looks at effort. He looks at the heart that keeps turning back even when it's tired. When you compare, you stop noticing your own progress. You start measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel, the best moments of their Ramadan, curated and filtered, while you're living the full reality of yours. That comparison is not fair to you, and it is not what Allah asked of you. There's another layer to this that's subtle. When you start worshipping to keep up, the intention shifts. It's no longer just for Allah. It's to feel equal, to not feel behind. And that shift, even if the act looks the same from the outside, changes everything on the inside. A small act done purely for Allah carries peace. A large act done out of comparison often carries anxiety. Your Ramadan is not a competition. It is a conversation between you and your Creator. And the only person whose opinion matters in that conversation is His. So close the comparison. Open your own page. Ask yourself one honest question every day. Am I closer to Allah today than I was yesterday? That is the only metric that matters. I know this might feel strange to say in a Ramadan video, but I need to say it. Please sleep. Not sleeping is not a sign of devotion. It is not proof of sincerity, and it is not what Islam asks of you. Many sisters enter Ramadan and immediately begin a kind of spiritual overexertion. Stay awake late, wake early for suhoor, try to pray the longest qiyam every single night, and by day 5 or 6, the body protests, the headaches come, the irritability arrives, you're short with your kids over nothing, you're sitting in salah, and your mind is somewhere else entirely. The Prophet, the best human being who ever lived, balanced his nights and his days. He prayed at night, and he also rested. If the best of creation needed balance, what makes us think we can run on empty and call it worship? Here's what actually happens when you deprive yourself of sleep. Your concentration disappears. You read Quran, but the words don't land. You make dua, but the heart isn't present. You stand in salah, but you're barely conscious. The form of worship is there. The soul of it is not. And beyond worship, exhaustion changes your character. The patience you wanted to embody this Ramadan, fatigue takes it from you before Maghrib even arrives. Controlling your anger, responding to your family with gentleness, being present for the people around you. These are enormous acts of worship, and they require a rested human being. Think of Ramadan as a long journey. You don't sprint at the start and collapse before the finish line. You pace yourself, because the last 10 nights require whatever strength you have left. A short nap in the afternoon is not laziness, it is wisdom. It is preparing your body so that when the night prayer arrives, you can actually show up for it with your mind, your heart, your tears, your presence. Allah did not make this month a burden. He made it a mercy. If your routine is leaving you consistently destroyed, that is not what He asked for. Adjust, rest, then return. A focused prayer after sleep carries more than an exhausted one that was endured. The Quran was revealed in Ramadan, not as a bonus feature, as its center, and yet, for so many of us, the Quran becomes the thing we keep meaning to get to. Once things settle, once I feel ready, once I have a proper block of time to sit and focus, but the days don't slow down to wait for that moment. And the Quran, it doesn't need perfect conditions, it needs you, right now, even for 5 minutes, even sitting on the edge of your bed at night, half tired, opening to a page you've read 100 times. There is a misconception that if you can't read a full juz, there's no point in starting. But Islam never taught that. Islam taught consistency. Islam taught that small, continuous deeds are beloved to Allah above large bursts that don't last. 2 pages every day for 30 days. That is a relationship. That is a habit. That is your heart being quietly transformed without you even realizing it. The calmness you're waiting for before you read, it comes from reading. The Quran is medicine, and medicine has to be taken to work. You don't wait to feel better before taking it. You take it so you can feel better. And for those of you who feel your recitation isn't good enough, listen carefully. The one who recites with difficulty, struggling with the letters, receives a double reward. Your imperfect recitation is not a reason to stay away, it is the very thing that draws you closer. Allah hears your attempt, not only your accuracy. Link your Quran time to something that already exists in your day. After Fajr, before you sleep, after Maghrib, before you touch your phone. Even 5 minutes anchored to a routine becomes a habit, and habits carry you through the entire month, even on the days when motivation is gone. The Quran becomes your companion when you read it daily. A verse will come back to you while you're washing dishes. A meaning will settle in your heart while you're waiting in traffic. The Quran enters your life when you let it enter your days. Don't wait for the last 10 nights to open it seriously. Those nights need a heart that has already been softened. Start now. Start today, and let the first days warm the heart that the last nights will transform. Iftar is done, the family is settled, and you reach for your phone, just for a moment, just to rest. An hour disappears. The Isha prayer arrives, and your mind is still scrolling. You stand on the prayer mat, and you're mentally replaying a video you just watched, a comment you just read, a life you were just comparing yourself to. The body is in salah, the heart is still on the screen. Sister, your evenings in Ramadan are precious. After the day's effort, the heart is softer, more open. Dua at this time reaches Allah with a sincerity that isn't always available in your busiest moments. This is the time for Quran, for reflection, for sitting quietly and actually feeling the night. Screens don't rest the heart. Scrolling leaves you more tired than before, mentally cluttered, emotionally scattered, spiritually absent. Set a boundary, a real one. Put the phone down after iftar for a defined window. Tell your family you will respond later. You will check messages later. Right now, this time belongs to Allah, and watch what happens. The evening suddenly feels spacious. You didn't find more time, you reclaimed it. If you want to use your phone, use it with intention. Play a Quran recitation. Listen to a reminder that pulls your heart closer. Let the same device that distracts you become a tool for focus. The nights of Ramadan are limited, every single one. Once they pass, they do not return until another year. Be present in them. Be here for them. The peace you experience in a quiet evening with your Lord cannot be found on any screen. And finally, if you're watching this and feeling the weight of everything you haven't done yet, let it go. Not as an excuse, not as a permission to continue sleeping through the month, but as a release so you can move. Guilt that keeps you frozen is not from Allah. It is from Shaitan. Allah's door in Ramadan is not closed because you missed some days. It is wide open. It has been open since the first night, and it will remain open until the last. The believer is not the one who never slips. The believer is the one who returns again and again without giving up. Your Ramadan is not defined by how it started. It is defined by how you continue. So take one small step today. Open the Quran for 5 minutes. Pray 2 extra rak'ah. Sit before Maghrib with your hands raised. Make one sincere, honest, humble dua. Tell Allah you struggled. Tell Him you want to do better. That honesty, that turning, that is exactly what Ramadan was created for. He invited you to this month knowing your weakness, knowing your distraction, knowing your imperfection, and He invited you anyway because He wants you to return. So return today, right now. However small, however imperfect, the door is open and He is waiting. May Allah accept from all of us. Ameen.